New FPS darling The Finals has released to rave reviews. There's only been one issue: hackers. Since the betas, the game has been struggling with a pretty massive cheating problem on certain servers, and it's gotten so bad that large swaths of the community are calling for a specific region to be entirely banned from playing the game. As it turns out, CS2 is hardly the only game dealing with a fair number of cheaters ruining the matchmaking experience for others. And after its full release nearly 2 weeks ago, The Finals became the most recent game to fall under this spotlight.
Alright, let's see if I can get him to drill me again. There we go, there it is.
Now, to be fair, the prevalence of cheaters is usually a lot more noticeable when a game first releases. There's only so much pen testing you can do during development or in the betas, and script kiddies are always going to find a way early on to cheat their asses off. The hope is that over time, vendors get exposed and the anti-cheat gets stronger. Unfortunately, these days, it's just a wait-and-see type of situation, unless we're dealing with a powerful and invasive anti-cheat on launch. However, despite the finals being in its infancy, cheaters are apparently ruining the game for a lot of people, which has resulted in a community backlash that I would argue is even worse than CS2's. But before we can even get into that, what the hell is the finals? Well, it is a team-based FPS that's stylized like a game show. It was developed by a Stockholm studio composed of former DICE members, and thanks in large part to its incredible destruction, it definitely has a bit of that Battlefield feel. Over the past few months, it has had a couple of betas to participate in, and at the most recent Game Awards, it was surprise released. And in a sea of stale and unpolished shooters, the finals has been a breath of fresh air for a lot of people.
That is the most satisfying move in this game by like a fucking mile. It's so good.
Personally, I've been playing a little bit every day and I've been having a great ass time with it. Obviously, it's going to need some balance fixes and new content, but I think with some TLC, it can have a bright future and even blossom into a successful esport. However, to a considerable amount of the community, that will not be possible unless the devs fix the cheating issue. Even since the betas, there have been countless posts of people complaining about the sheer amount of cheaters that are plaguing the game. And since launch, it seems like things have only gotten worse. But it was during those test periods where the players who had it the worst started calling for Burke, the studio responsible, to take an iron fist approach to cheating by implementing a region lock. You see, it's the belief of many of these cheating victims that the problem lies solely with China. They feel that all the hackers originate from there and that the problem would be solved if they region locked the game. Some have even pointed to the game's top leaderboards, which they allege are exclusively comprised of Chinese players. For some, they want players on China's server to only be able to play against each other. For others, they want the entire country to be blocked from playing the game entirely. Now, you could definitely make the argument that this is collective punishment, but the problem is so bad for certain people that they believe this is the only solution. Now, me personally, I haven't had any issue with cheaters in the finals yet. To be honest, I haven't even noticed anything that I would even consider to be suspicious. Now, this could be because I play on different servers in a different country. But even if it did affect me and it seemed like most of the cheaters came from China, I don't know if straight up expelling an entire country would feel like the right resolution. Listen, I've been having a ton of issues with cheaters in CS2, but if I felt like most of them came from New York, I wouldn't want to just ban that entire city, let alone the entire country. But regardless of how you feel about it, on Sunday, we finally got a response from a community manager on the calls for China to be region locked, and the answer was an emphatic no. In their Discord, they claim that they do not want to region lock, and that China isn't even the actual problem, alleging that many people just use Chinese characters to avoid getting reported. The community manager also claims that this sentiment comes from a place of racism and xenophobia. As you can imagine, members of the Discord didn't take too kindly to these comments, but thankfully it was quickly overshadowed the next day when a dev at Burke responded to the entire situation. They claim that there was actually a technical issue preventing them from banning cheaters, that they are getting close to a fix and have already started overhauling their anti-cheat. They went on to say that this is their biggest priority and that they're in it for the long haul. This is obviously great news. They didn't say what the nature of the technical issue was, but if we take it at face value, it's a step in the right direction. Now, a more cynical person might just see this as a way for the devs to pour some cold water on the heated lock China conversation. But I'd like to be optimistic here. Listen, games have tried region locks before, especially after having an overload of alleged cheaters from certain regions, but it never seems to actually fix the issue. That's because fixing the actual issue requires improving anti-cheat systems, full stop. And listen, at the very least, getting some communication from the devs on a community sentiment is better than nothing. Hopefully Valve is watching this. Now, that is where we currently stand. No region lock in sight, but a fix to the anti-cheat hopefully coming soon. And I'd like to hear what you guys think about this entire situation. Have you actually had an issue with cheaters in the finals? And if so, do you think a region lock is an appropriate solution? Let me know. Yeah, play the finals, if you're in North America, I guess. I haven't had problems with cheaters, but it's a fun-ass game. When I played the first beta, or the first closed beta or alpha, whatever it was, I was like, this game kind of stinks. The time to kill was bad, the respawn time just felt really awkward, but now they seem to fix it. The balance is still messed up, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.